The circuit board comes with a bunch of little bitty components. One of the components is a nice little 16-pin chip. Okay, everybody listen very carefully. Do not solder the chip. Should I have everybody repeat after me? Do not solder the chip. Okay.
We differentiate socket.
You have a socket. Socket looks like a socket. It's got holes in the top and pins on the bottom. It has a little indent. The little indent indexes with the little indent drawn on the board.
Right.
I strongly recommend soldering that one in first because it's in the very middle. And then everything else will get progressively soldered as you go outwards. It's a lot easier to solder in the middle first and then work your way outwards. Okay? Don't put the chip in until I've inspected everything. In fact, I'll help you put the chip in. It's pretty easy to bend the little pins.
Yeah.
The last thing you're going to want to solder on are the LEDs. The LEDs and the traces on the solder board aren't that great. So what they've got is the circuit board sits like this. And there's a hole right here. And the trace comes along to a pad right there. The LED comes down through here and gets soldered in. Then you're going to start bending it, wiggling it, and doing all this stuff, and it's going to tear that trace loose. Okay? They're going to tell you that they want you to measure the length of the lead that goes up and then the length of the lead that goes this direction till you get to the LED, like that. And you're going to get it so precise and accurate that the bottom of this box that comes along like this comes up like this, and a little socket pin holds the boards together. Then comes like this and curves up like that. You're going to get it to fit perfectly. Right?
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Oh, really? Okay, it's not going to happen. Right? They're also going to make this hole a little bit too small for the LED. So the LED, you sort of have to force it in there. I'm going to suggest, you know, the little curly Q thing that they use for deburring holes? Okay, just take about one turn. Just take a little bit out, take the LED and set it in there and make sure it free fits into there. You do not want it so loose that the LED goes all the way through. You want this ridge to catch. Okay? What does LED stand for?
Lighting diode.
What are diodes?
One way.
One way, which means they can only be installed one way. How do you tell which is the right way and the wrong way?
It doesn't light up.
Yeah, that's too late. That's like, you know how to tell the difference between a factory-made diamond and a real diamond?
Yeah.
She tells you?
It's too late.
No.
It's too
You guys don't know?
No.
Hit it with a hammer. If it shatters, that was the real one.
Oh, no.
I kid you not. Real diamonds have flaws. That's what makes them look so pretty.
Oh.
They shatter. That was the real one. Oops. Okay.
Turning into industrial cutters after that?
Guess what? That LED, that little ridge that I just drew right there. Okay. If I turn that 90 degrees, what you'll see is a flat like this. Okay. Look at the LED very closely. One edge is flat. Okay. So one of these edges is flattened a little bit. Okay. If you look on the circuit board has two little holes. You'll see it drawn like that. Okay. Make sure they line up correctly. Now, I don't recommend having the leads go this way. What I would do is leave them full length. And instead of bending them real sharp like that, do a bit of a question mark. Okay? It's a little hard to do, but a little bit of a question mark gives you a little bit of room to flex and move stuff. So get a basic question mark drawn in there. You've got to go the right direction so that this ends up because what it really is the edge of the circuit board's here. You got to do it the correct direction so that the flat ends up on the right side. In other words, the flat is going to be right here. I could bend it this way or I could bend it the other way and it would be backwards. Okay? So hold it up, get it there so it looks like it's going to be right, then come back and gently bend a little bit of a question mark into it and get it close. Do it so that you don't actually remove any of the leads. You'll also find that one of the leads is a little bit shorter than the other. That's also the other way to tell for polarized components. Usually the shorter is the negative side, if I remember correctly, but go with the fact that the side of the LED is cut flat just a little bit, okay? Before you do any final cutting and flexing of putting this in here, get it bent like this approximately, stick it in here and very carefully solder this, okay? Once you've got that nicely soldered, don't do anything. Come to me. What I'll do is I've got a small little hot glue gun. I'll put a nice big dollop of hot glue here, okay? That'll help stabilize that LED. Otherwise, the flexing and moving it around to get it in the case, they have a tendency to break. Unfortunately, if these were better circuit boards where they were double soldered on both sides, it would be a much better joint. What happens is when that trace tears loose, then we're done. All I can do is glue it in place and then I have to build a little bridge to get to the trace, get back to the trace. Okay? Don't solder it in backwards. If you're unsure, had the slightest amount of doubt, come ask me, I will show you. Okay, if you get it bent and you're still not sure, come down, ask me, I'll check it. I want it to be right because I want it to work. So far, I'm about 1,000 for 0, meaning I've been able to fix every one
That was screwed up.
that was screwed up.
How come you didn't fix my peeling?
Because that was a learning experience. Now we're going to make the tool work. I actually had one, I kid you not, in this circuit board, there was a section of trace and a section of trace, and two traces going, a trace going by here and another trace that came by here. There was a small piece of carbon fiber embedded in the circuit board. That literally, I had to take a super bright flashlight, shine it through. I could sort of see this weird little blackness in there. So finally, I went through with the razor, with the sharp X-Acto knife, and started cutting. It started cutting into here. Finally, I cut through there, and that stopped the dead short that was there. That was rather weird. I've never seen that on thousands and thousands of circuit boards I've repaired. I've never seen that. But I've seen all kinds. Very commonly, when you guys start doing these soldering, what you'll get is if I draw it really big, there's the hole, with the lead coming down in there like this. Very commonly, you'll get it balled up here, balled up like that. But if I hold it up to the light, I'll actually be able to see little air gaps through. Holding it up to the bright light, well, that's not a very bright light, but find a brighter one. You'll be able to see some air gaps. What we really want to see are very clean, nice solder joints. Of course, on this side, there is no solder because these are only one-sided boards. So I've got a bunch of little practice boards. For those of you that want to practice a few, I've got a bunch of little resistors and some practice boards that we can do a little bit of practice soldering first. Okay. Okay, so for most of you, this should take you maybe 3, maybe 4 class periods, so we should have plenty of time to finish these up. Okay?
Is it gonna take holding the soldering iron on there as long as the peeling to be able to flow solder into it?
It's actually probably going to take a little bit less. It's quite a bit less mass.
Okay.
But I've got a bunch of resistors, so you can practice a few.
The trace is very thin, small piece of copper.
Very small amount of mass, yes.
Too much heat will burn through, or?
Yes. If you leave the heat on here for too long, you'll eventually start to melt the substrate underneath it, and the glue that's holding the copper on will melt and it'll come loose.
Okay.
Okay?
Nice.
Yeah, just gotta teach
Okay.
yourself.
All right, let's get out of here.
If I find those tips online, you want me to go through?
Yeah, I will.
PT,
ET series.
PT series 24.
Yeah.
24.
And see, and look it up by the iron. What was it, PES 51 or whatever that was? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's, okay, let's start. Next week, you gotta do the plate, right?
Yeah, am I done?
No, you gotta do the plate next week. And measure with an ohm meter, so we'll turn it in next week.
That's all I got left. is the plate.
That's right. Yeah, it'll only take you 2 minutes. Who checked out the tape?
The tip is starting to get dull on mine. So you were talking tonight about ordering some tips on the Weller. You said I have a blue one, green Weller. Is there an issue? You said there's an issue?
Yeah, I'll show you the issue.
Like, I need to get a because to do that circuit board, I need a fine tip. I still.
What you probably want, if you got one with the new kind of gun, the PES 51,
The 51, yeah.
what you need is the ET series tip.
ET series. Okay,
Yeah,
not
'cause
the
this won't fit in there.
Okay.
Right.
So
It's
we-
different.
Okay, that was the issue. So ET series then.
Right.
I thought I did get the ET series though. That's the weird part about it. So I'm not sure.
That doesn't look like the ET
And
series.
ET7, the number 7.
ST was the one you probably got.
Yes, that's what
Yeah, that's
Right.
That was a point zero. I think this one was maybe point. I think the smallest I had was .039 or something.
In the ST, they go with 0.31. In the ET series, and look it up by the iron, not by the WES 51.
Okay.
Look it up by it's PES 51 by the actual iron, the part that plugs in.
Oh, the iron part. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And but I think it was the ET. They had a .024 and a .031. Yeah, I think either one.
We'll be fine enough to get
Yeah,
that.
and
in that
they're only
circuit board.
$4. So what the hell? Get one of each.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah, that's gonna be fine too.
Yeah. And that's the one you want. Is that fine too?
All right. Very
How's
good.
it look to you?
Looks good. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, you got it done right.
Keith and Myers,
They're in
come on. All right, one more solder you get.
Right here. It's all you.
DT series.
ET.
ET series tips.
Okay.
You want the really
But
small?
look it up by that iron because,
Yeah, because
and don't go to Amazon because Amazon apparently got it wrong.
Yeah.
Go to
what I
the
got.
Weller website
Okay.
and figure out what the part number is, and then I found one that was like $4.13.
You're not sure? You can always
The
call.
last one that I
Weller.
bought was not it.
So
I gave it to
Amazon's
Steve.
screwing.
It works in my mower. I
Yeah,
have that adjustable
Adjustable tip.
right.
That little screw.